Welcome everybody to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast, and in this video we're going to review the latest Spider-Man movie that just released, Spider-Man Lotus. It is filled with controversy, but be assured we'll actually give an unbiased review for this movie. We're trying to do a lot of different stuff on this channel, reviewing all sorts of things, so a lot of people have been talking about this. It's been a minute. Dylan, without further ado, let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought Spider Clan loaded. No, Spider-Man. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy. And this is actually our first fan film that we've ever reviewed, so this is really interesting to talk about. Okay, well, before we talk about the controversy, because I feel like that's a whole another can of worms. Let's talk about the actual film, because I feel like when we did The Sound of Freedom or Sound, whatever that was, there's a lot of things that you have to kind of separate the creator from the media. So let's talk about the film itself. We just watched it, and I gotta say, a lot of it feels like there was budget cut.
Shit worse. Yeah.
And when I saw the budget for that, I was like, holy shit. Like, even though this is a fan film, I mean, there are some parts where it kind of was like, oh, okay, this actually looks really good. And then, like, I think the costuming, I thought the CGI was really good. It's a shame what happened with the VFX artists, but like I said, we'll talk about that later. And the actors themselves, Warden Wayne, he didn't feel too bad as Peter Parker, I must say. He was probably the strongest out of the whole cast in this, and you kind of have to have a strong Peter Parker to lead, a Spider-Man movie. Of
course.
It's just, for me, it feels like there are so many scenes in this fan film that it's like so dragged out.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's like they could have cut a lot and made it a bit more condensed, get it right to the point with certain things. But there's certain, like, they do a lot of like flashback sequences. Some of this we didn't even really need to see because we know a lot about Spider-Man, right? If you don't know the fucking Uncle Ben story by now, why the fuck are you gonna rewatch it, right? But there was a lot of heartfelt scenes as well, like the scene with the little kid Tim. I thought that was a cute, genuine moment, and it kind of reminded me a lot of the '90s animated Spider-Man scene where he was talking with that little girl, and she was giving him reassurance of who Spider-Man really is. So there's moments like that where, like, I feel like they actually cared, for the film. But a lot of times it's just like them like walking around. There's a lot of long established shots of New York, and they just this looks like it was shot in like a helicopter, like tourist view.
Yeah.
And it's like they just like keep going and go. We just did a fucking San Diego vlog video that we're gonna release pretty soon. Even that we cut short,
right?
Because you want to keep people interested. So there's a lot of nuances like that. Again, this is a fan film, so you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, they're not professionals. There's some things that make it seem like it had potential, but again, a lot of the backlash perhaps affected it as well. But I said my piece about it. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I agree. I mean, there's things where you could tell. The thing is, I don't know Gavin J. Konop's works that well. I don't know if he directed something prior to this. I'd say when you're about to attempt something like this, either he's really lucky, I don't know, or well connected. Usually it's good to at least have some other works under your title before you take something like this on that's super ambitious, because you could tell there, like you talked about the establishing shots, it's just for some reason the pacing is just too slow, way too slow. Yeah, like the establishing shots are like our Screen 6 review background, basically. Or even like some of the dialogue. Again, these are probably newcomers to acting and stuff like that. Sometimes one thing for you guys to know, like how you could tell someone's not a really good actor, is like when they breathe a lot, like I just love when they speak like that, it's like they're overdoing it. And I felt like some of the performances sometimes was a little overdone, especially, and again, this is unbiased, right? So Mariah Brooklyn as Mary J. Watson, I get what she's trying to do. She's kind of acting like Kelly Riley, if you guys know that actress from Yellowstone or Flight. There's something sexy about her character, kind of like Aubrey Hepburn, like the shots that they've tried set up and like her poses. But for some reason later on, she executes it really bad and it just comes out like cringe. And the same thing will go for, like, for example, Sean Thomas Reid as Harry Osborn. He seems like a schizophrenic or something like that, like really like he's about to bite somebody. And Warden Wayne as Peter Parker, I think he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. It's just the whole thing is so melancholy that it makes you feel really bored, and I think you could see that through the performances too.
It's too melancholy. It feels like if this was any other movie, like if this was his first project unrelated to Spider-Man, I'd be like, okay, it's good. It could be tweaked a little bit, but because it's Spider-Man, you expect a lot of high-end action sequences, which there were some, but even those kind of felt like they were dragged on a little too much, and I was like, okay, just finish it already. Like that's how I kind of felt about this movie. It's like, just get to the end already.
Yeah,
right?
but there's a channel called Bad in the Sun. I think they do like their fight sequences really well. I wish they kind of emulated from that, and they're like based on social media, YouTube, whatever, and they do short films and stuff. Yeah, this definitely was there wasn't any diversity. Not in the cast. Well, in the cast, I actually saw just one black person, and then there was like the Spanish kid. But anyways, there wasn't a lot of diversity in a sense of just the emotion. Everything was just sad. And then how they set up fun moments is through reminiscing in the past, and then it just makes it all sad and stuff. And
even those are depressing to watch.
Yeah, you can't rely on that fully, especially in a Spider-Man movie. There has to be other stuff, or unless you'll have your audience bored. So I think they overindulged in a lot of those types of moments. And I think, less is more in a way. Like the kid scene with Spider-Man, again, if that was actually cut shorter, way shorter, I think a lot of people will look towards that scene and say, well, like, yeah, this is such a sweet moment, and everyone will keep referencing that. But because we had so much of it, it's so stuffed in your face, you get so tired of seeing it, honestly. And then I get it, and editing wise, like I do get it. Some of the editing was not too nuanced, I'd say, and the VFX, it was good for a fan film, but there were some mistakes, like the car sequence. I mean, even a license plate was like some European license plate, and then later on it changes to a regular license plate, and then the color changes. It's like, I get it, because it's hard to go back, because then you have to do so much work and stuff, and then the tracking. But still,
I mean, you mentioned Spider-Man's shoulders looked off too.
Spider-Man's shoulders were like, that guy could crack coconuts with his shoulders or something. He looked like a monster from The Mist or something. It was really weird. I don't know what was going on. He looked like Metroid. The game Metroid?
Yeah.
Kind of like that in a CGI shot. Yeah, I was like, is that guy hiding any batteries in his shoulders or something?
Shit. Well, you made a good point. I want you to comment a little bit on like some of the shots, because you're, obviously, experienced with, film editing and stuff. And you made a really good point when we were watching it about like some of the camera techniques. Sure. Like they felt a little too safe. I want you to talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, all directors, they have their own style. And I think, again, film is art. That doesn't matter what it is, even if it could be a soap opera. You could kind of consider it like an art in some sense. I mean, and it gets really nuanced left and right. But that's why Christopher Nolan, for example, is so popular, or Quentin Tarantino, because they have a distinct style. And we go to see that because it's a Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino movie. And I think like all directors should strive to, separate themselves from the rest, and at the end try to deliver a product that means so much to them, but also the audience. And the way how you could tell about that dedication is through the film techniques, that, the music, this and that. Like, for example, Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer, it's like 77 millimeter or something like that. A film buff will know about that, and they'll love that, right? So with this, they had it seemed like it was filmed in one camera, and they never changed the lens. Like, you have to, with movies, you have to change the lens. I mean, once you do that, you open up an array of beautiful shots, especially like when you have two characters speaking with each other and you really want to focus on the intimate moments. Everything matters, and they failed to actually do that. And it probably is maybe because of the budget, but again, this is like $100,000 movie, so I can't really like, what the fuck do you guys spend money on for like $100,000? At the VFX, okay, fine. The costuming, all right.
That one car in the beginning, that's
yeah. Like, you could have at least bought yourself some other lenses to and it didn't have a really I think it doesn't matter where this is posted, right? For me, if you're making a movie, I think it has to feel filmic in any way, right? If it's a movie, that's where you see the art, the little mistakes from like the scratches, depending on what you're filming. I know they're not going to be able to afford like some actually actual film, right? This is all digital, but still, like, add something to it to distinctive from the rest. This just feels very amateur. And again, this is amateur, but it's been a long time in the making, and this is a 2-hour movie. You like did this professionally, apparently. You have all these people involved, so I would expect more from this. I think they kind of botched the bag in a sense with that, unfortunately.
Well, shit, imagine the director's cut for this. It's
It's
probably like 3 hours.
3 hours.
4
This shit's probably
hours.
7 hours.
Fuck the Snyder cut.
Honestly, really. And then the music too wasn't the best. They had cool tracks and stuff, but I'm talking about the actual score. The score felt like guys, watch Flowers for Algernon and like the 1990s or whatever like that. It's kind of like that score. And then they compact it with this long ass drawn out. Like, imagine this, guys, if you haven't watched this. Like, imagine this. You're watching this movie. It's sad. Gwen died. Okay, she's dead. We're going to talk about this for 2 hours. And then to make it different, they literally, like, fucking Peter's talking about, I'm so sad, I'm whatever, I'm racist, this and that, whatever. And then all of a sudden, that scene lasts for 10 minutes. Then he fucking goes to the next room, walks there, and then it lasts for 10 minutes again, and it's the same shit. It's like, are you kidding me? Stop overindulging. Just get with the point, move on.
They need to mix it up. I get what they were trying to. I don't know if it's like maybe talking about like grief, like we've talked about like stuff, you know, that has like similar context about like, you know, losing a loved one or something. It's just weird to do it in this kind of frame because, you know, when you think of Spider-Man, obviously it's a little more lighthearted than other Marvel superheroes, right? But they just went hard with the melancholy stuff. It was like okay, so yeah, you're talking about the Peter thing, okay, and then we cut to like Harry. And like he's like a drug addict, like lay on his couch.
He's like Tetros in the last episode when he's like all drunk and stuff. That's exactly how he is.
I kept laughing too because I was like, so basically in this universe, like Harry like pays for like Peter's apartment, and then Peter's like, all right, well, I need you to get out. I'm like, he pays for your apartment. Like, what?
He's so
He should be kicking you out.
And then later
What?
they show him drinking his coffee. And so I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's so fresh.
So then like Harry, like he walks off, and there was like this cool song that was playing. I actually pretty liked it, but I think those were pretty dry. And like stuff like that, like you could have skipped the establishing shots, right? You could show off New York, you know, through different characters and like what they're going through. And they used rain a lot in this movie. It was like, damn, I feel like...
But it was inconsistent too.
I feel like this was like, in the same day because it was just kept raining like every day.
I swear, this shit I think took... I don't even know how long this whole thing took place in. I don't know if it was a week, a couple of days. It felt honestly like one day. And then he kept on saying like, sorry I talked to you like that earlier. But it felt like an hour ago or like a day ago. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What's wrong with you?
And then there was, I know I always say like, I hate like when movies do like contemporary shit, but I didn't see like one phone or TV in this.
Dude.
It felt so weird and like out of place.
Look, here's my thing. It's funny because we always try to critique things like an unbiased view. Like we'll call out something if it's woke, And to me, my definition of woke is like, I like diversity, but diversity has to feel genuine. It doesn't have to feel like this type of trophy black kid or trophy whatever. It has to have a purpose, you know? And so with this, I really wanted for them to include more like a diverse cast because I could tell that they had that kid. Funny enough, right? Like they're not going to have some regular character, normal character that's Spanish, but for some reason they make the sick kid like Spanish, like he has to be, right? And then the black guy is Shocker for some reason, but you can't just have like some other guy there and he's like normal. But he has a mask
the whole time, so it's like you can barely see him.
Yeah, and everybody was white and shit. I was like...
By the way, the Shocker costume looked like a fucking ripoff of Zoom from The Flash.
Yeah. It wasn't too good. It wasn't. And he had like he was like schizo-autistic. He was like this all the time and shit.
And Green Goblin, man, he looks so stupid. I mean, granted, Green Goblin already a stupid looking motherfucker in the comics. It's hard to adapt them unless it's like from the Raimi films.
Right.
But like even like the height different, like usually like, okay. Oh, that was another thing. So like the age, I don't know what their ages are in this movie, but it felt like they were really young, but they were like way too mature. Like Peter was gonna propose to Gwen Stacy, but he looked like he didn't even graduate like college.
Yeah, I was confused.
And then like Green Goblin was like exactly his height, but you know when you think of Norman Osborn, you think he's a little bit older, so he might be like a little bit more taller than Peter. So it was kind of like strange, and even that fight sequence, like I don't know, it felt like it didn't have as much impact as the movies per se. It just felt like it's like an adaptation, but it's not a good adaptation in my opinion.
I think this actually was adapted from a comic called Spider-Man Blue or something like that. I'm not too sure. I think that's why like the theme and stuff is like really bluish or whatever. Listen, the whole thing, I understand like with certain fight scenes, because it's hard, because with a professional production, you have wire work, you actually have stunt doubles, you have like all this stuff at your disposal that you could use. So I understand for these people, they're probably using one camera, one lens, and they're really limited on what they can do. I understand that, but honestly, like go look at, I know this is a different type of choreography, but go look at some of like the best lightsaber fighters or something and look how fast they're like doing their shit.
Right,
like you could have done something like that if you wanted to make it more grounded, and it just wasn't. It was, I hit you, I fly back, I punch you, but it's a close up to me, so you don't see. And
the villain is like talking the whole time while Spider-Man's trying to get up, and he just like this.
But it's so slow too. It's
so slow. I couldn't stand it.
I was so bothered by that. I was just like, come on, dude, move on. Like, what's going on?
Shit.
I mean, yeah, the movie, again, and we're going hard on this, not because of some of the controversy, but just at the actual film. I mean,
we're just talking about the movie. We're not even talking about the controversy.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That the acting was, again, okay. It didn't knock it out of the park, but it was fine. I think it got the point. Pacing was awful. Honestly, I would like, if you cut this down, you could have made this at least maybe 45 minutes if you really wanted to cut it down, because there was a lot of useless shit that was here.
It's a fan film, so it's like nobody expects you to go like hard, I mean, I get it, if it's your passion project, that's fine, but like if it warrants 2 hours, then show me something that keeps me for 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's like some movies like Eternals, like it just went on and on and on, and it's like, okay, like I get it, like, but there wasn't really anything to like keep me sticking with the film,
right?
It's like, it's just like these long shots, and you could have established a lot of those shots in the beginning too. Like I think we were talking about like there was one sequence where the kid was like showing like all the posters and the newspapers, like all Spider-Man's heroics and stuff that you could have just made for the intro title.
You could have.
Instead, they chose like these just stills. It felt like very like basic and generic.
Yeah,
it was just like stills of like, and you could just pull this from like the comics or something. And I mean, some of the artwork was cool, I'm not gonna lie.
True,
but it's like you could have like, I always say like the intro like should set the mood for the film, right? And the mood was supposed to be like grief or like trauma and coming out of that, right? That's what the intro should have been, right? But they just kept a lot of these shots in it. It just felt so boring to me.
Well, you're right, because like they took so long for the title sequence. It was just Peter, Gwen, Mary Jane, and Harry like about to eat somewhere, and he's about to propose. And so you're like, if you don't know anything about this movie and you're just watching this, you're like, okay, I didn't even get like what it really was about. If you think about it, it was just them. He's about to propose, and then all of a sudden the credits come, and it's like, for some reason, Mary Jane is dead, from that famous comics line. And then it gets to this grief shit. I mean, yeah, I think they should have focused less on the emotional side. It's kind of hard to say because I know it's about grief, but again, they overindulged in a lot of stuff. And usually you'll have that, because imagine if you're like a first time director or something and you have all like this cast of people, you have like the media talking about you, you have all this stuff and you feel great. So I want to show everything, you would feel like that. But the thing is, the trick is to, again, less is more in this sense. And they should have cut it down. Because the whole experience, to be honest with you, felt diluted. It's not even, if you cut it down, you're not going to dilute it anymore. It already feels diluted because you just take too long. There's
a lot of shit I always say, like, just show me, don't tell me.
Exactly.
Right. Like there was one scene they had like Peter was looking at the laptop and he was looking at like this flash drive, like all these memories he had with Harry and MJ and Gwen. Like, just show me that. You don't have to tell me like this whole story. Like Gwen, MJ was talking about like, oh, this 4th of July story where they all hung out. It's like, nobody wants to hear this. Like, just show me it.
She took so long, yeah.
Otherwise, I could listen to a fucking like Audible book.
Shit, it would have lasted 14 hours.
Right, yeah. If you're gonna do a movie, just show me it. Like, don't fucking,
I swear, honestly, it felt like they were saying something that had happened that made them upset, and then they go straight to explaining instructions for how to build a rocket ship. It's like, honestly, I don't know. They just took too long. Seriously. But
Well, we talked about some of the downs. Were there any like highlights for you for this movie that you enjoyed?
yeah, I think honestly, there's a lot of snippets that I think there's some cool shots that they took, and I also like there's certain sequences like the Harry thing walking by himself with the song. I mean, I would have cut that short, but I thought that was really stylistically cool. I Some of the performances were not bad in certain moments. I think, for example, like Mariah Brooklyn for certain scenes, I thought she applied what she was trying to do wrong, but there were certain instances where I was like, oh, okay, I get what she's doing, and she actually did really good, like in certain crying scenes. The kid sequence was really sweet towards the end and stuff. Again, it dragged on too much. It's like they do something great with their hands and they mess it up with their feet each time, but like that stuff. And then the end sequence, I think they showed the trailer and they showed the end sequence, but that was pretty cool. The web slinging. I wish it was longer, but the action parts, the fun parts, they make it short, but the boring stuff they make it long.
Shit,
what
like
about
the exact
you?
opposite. Yeah, I agree with those. I thought the costume for Spider-Man himself was pretty cool. It's very authentic. It's just weird sometimes because they mix it with CGI, and there's like some shots I'm like they didn't have to do CGI. They could have just showed like he's literally crouching like on a bridge or something. They could have just had that and had like a green screen or something. I don't know what the budget for this one was for, but the costume was all right. I thought it was pretty loyal, and they even showed like an older costume that looked like it was directly adapted from the original, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko comics. I thought that was cool. The flashback scenes could have been better, but it's like sometimes I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to change it up and be a little more stylistic. Right. I just wish like something like you always talk about like color grading. There was like only like a few scenes, but I felt like the color grading felt like actually like it was from a different movie.
Sure.
And then it goes back to like this generic like plaid like color scheme.
Yes.
So if I had to make a recommendation to the director or the creators, I'd say next time, honestly, I'd say just pick your favorite film or films you like and just adapt from that style.
Yeah.
Right? Like just find things you like and just throw it in there. Right. But I mean, overall, it was okay. Yeah, it really sucks, about the controversy. I mean, that kind of affected my perception of it as well, because it ruined the kid scene for me because the kid scene was so sweet, and then I just imagine him saying some racist shit to the kid or something.
No, it makes actually like I would suggest watching this with like a friend or something because like knowing about the controversy before actually watching this makes it kind of more enjoyable for some reason.
The funny thing is it does actually.
It does. Like I kept thinking that Warden Wayne was gonna sling some N-words left and right or something. Like Peter is just like, oh, shit. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean.
He was gonna hang Goblin on a cross birding or he lynched Green Goblin from the
No, you guys gotta look at the wiki. You gotta look at the wiki. The wiki's hilarious, honestly. I mean, is it warranted? The controversy, of course it is, and there's more and more stuff being leaked, and so this whole thing was a mess behind the scenes, and quite frankly, for the budget, I don't think it was. You could be a racist, but at least be a respectful racist when it comes to filmmaking, right? There's a respect to certain artworks that doesn't matter who you really are. Art is art, but the way how this had so much controversy in the making of this kind of, I think, bleeds through the movie itself and in our perceptions as well. So this movie, in a way, is kind of doomed since the start. And it's a shame because I think this was made since 2018, or I'm not mistaken, for a while or something. So yeah, I mean, all in all, the movie honestly wasn't the best. All I had to say is like, good try. And that's really about it.
You know how bad it was? It made me want to rewatch the Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy.
Yeah, really, honestly. I'd rather go fucking watch if Spider-Man did like a Mazda commercial from Japan, I'd rather go watch that than this, to be honest.
This felt like a Spider-Man like Cialis commercial or something.
Yeah, all the shots. It was explaining like Monjaro or whatever to like lose weight. It's like whatever. It's like those Hulu ads that they put for HIV. It's so bad.
It felt like an antidepressant commercial or something.
That shit made me more depressed. Like, what? Damn. Shit, I needed a coffee
hang myself after watching that shit. Oh man, fuck.
Well,
but yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, like you said, it was doomed from the start, and it sucks because like the director even like shat on a lot of people to like. I remember John Watts, even the director of Far From Home, or No Way Home said like, oh, he was actually interested in the film, and the guy was like, oh yeah, well, your movie was garbage too. So it's like, be
how
professional,
disrespectful.
dude.
Yeah, be professional. Exactly. He's so ungrateful. Like, yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's a fucking idiot, because you know what's the thing though? John Watts compliments you on that, right? So let's say there's no controversy here, but now you could probably, John Watts, maybe you could DM him or something. And that's your way of slowly getting into the industry. You could actually, but now, because you're a fucking retard, now you're going to be like always doing these short films on YouTube and stuff. You're never going to move up. And then you have that controversy. So stay like that. Fuck him. Yeah, that's how I see it. Honestly, fuck most of them anyway. Because like from what we know, all of them are like pieces of shit and stuff like that. So just stay like that then. So you got what you deserve.
Green Goblin was method acting.
Yeah, Green Goblin. Shit. Well, after the news, I don't know. Damn.
It's like, you guys didn't tell me to stop, so I just kept going. Shit.
I don't doubt it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'd say, again, watch this movie. I mean, it's popular. It has like 1 million views so far on YouTube. I mean, I'd say if you want to just talk shit about the movie, just watch the movie, or watch it with some friends or whatever too. It is a pretty boring movie, but I think it's better if you watch it with some amigos. So definitely do that.
If you have 2 hours to, if you're doing laundry right now and you have 2 hours to kill, or you're like Akram and you're editing like a 3-hour video, watch this movie.
Watch this movie. Yeah. I put this movie on. They should actually partner up with the Calm app so you could sleep while watching it.
Holy shit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I were to rate this movie, I honestly, unbiased from what I seen, I probably would give this movie like maybe a 3 out of 10. What's your final thoughts, or what would you rate it?
Unbiased, probably 4 out of 10. Actually, there's some moments I enjoy. I always try to be fair with a lot of film, and even fan films, I treat them like as if I was watching, professionally done film, because it does take a lot of time and effort. I mean, we know we're doing a vlog video right now, and Lord knows how long that's gonna take. But 4 out of 10 for me. I mean, perhaps I wonder, like, if they went back and redid it, how it would look. Maybe they could have changed a lot of things, but who knows? I doubt he's gonna do anything big like this ever again, because I think his career is pretty much as dead as Gwen Stacy. Right?
They're burning in hell.
Shit. With Talos and Moriah.
And Sasaya.
Shit. But yeah, guys, that is our review for Spider-Man Lotus. Thank you so much for checking us out. And if you let us know what you thought of the film, what your thoughts are, and what you thought of the controversy surrounding it as well. But yeah, we have a lot of content dropping pretty soon. We've been really busy because, like we said, this vlog video for San Diego Comic-Con is taking a hell of a lot of time. There's just so much footage, but Akram, I can tell you right now, did an amazing job with it. I can't wait for you guys to see it, because he put his heart and soul. This is what a fan film should look like.
There you go. Thank you.
So I hope you guys will check it out. Let us know what you guys thought as well. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. And until then, thanks for having lunch with us.
See you guys.